Drivers ready for this qualifying session. Welcome to the third round of the championship. Welcome to qualifying. Green light is out in pit lane, and it is time to get this one underway here. As the drivers now start to exit out of the slowest pit lane on the calendar. Strategies are going to be very interesting as we go throughout this race, but as we're into qualifying, it's all about nailing down the best lap possible. The good lucks are in our general chat in Discord. Stephen Bola quoting, "Good luck, guys. Let's not have ham and max into cops." And if you do not understand that one, maybe it's for the better. That was a bit of carnage on that day, but we're going to find out. This championship has really been shuffled up. And so now as we head into qualifying here, looking over this beautiful circuit, we are live here in Assetto Corsa. That is the sim we use. We are a complete free league to race with. So if you want to get in on the action, you could tune in onto our Discord. That's pinned at the top of the chat. If you are just wanting to support us, I greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate that. And you can do that by checking out our description. You can find our other social media pages. YouTube is really our best spot to watch all the action, but you can see a bit of racing there as you see Costa and one of the Maseratis, that's Nick Edwards, as they go up the hangar straight into Stowe. I think it's time now to take a look at some of these drivers and get this action underway. The first man is going to be David Costa, the Portuguese driver with a massive fan base. Shout out to all the fans of David Costa watching wherever you are in the world. Costa now is going to show off what is it like to put down a fast lap here at Silverstone. Let's go on board. I think it's a turn 1 and turn 2. It's a complete flat out section throughout there into T3. Right-hander, short shifting up into 4th gear, down into 3rd. Tricky section to get the power down. A bit of understeers. He's desperately trying to get the back end to react to him. And now with DRS wide open for the first straight here, heading into the braking zone now of Brooklands. And you just want to dance the car around. One of my favorite parts here, Luffield. You just want to get it as wide as possible and start to tighten up. It's a late apex as well. But now as we head on to Woodcut and the old pit straight, it's racing down. 2 cops flat out there. Oh, a little bit wide. That's going to be track limits for him, but he's going to push on anyways. Really get a feel for this lap and see what the tires are doing. Those are the soft compound tires as he's flicking his car through Maggots and Beckett's. It's still looking fine. All reviews of track limits, of course, going to be done after the session. It's just a thing with Assetto Corsa, not allowing us to do live penalties during qualifying. So it's all handled just after it. But as Costa now heads into the final couple of corners through Vale and Club, desperately wanting to put the throttle down. He's going to come across the line with Nick Edwards also closing in, but the time driver's going to be chasing down is a 1:31.499, quickly taken away, but a 1:28 dead by the Canadian of Nick Edwards. His times are starting to fly in here. And Adam from Ferrari goes in for a time of a 1:29.0. So slowly trying to close up. This track is going to constantly improve. Of course, we are the only event here today on track, so no other forms of motorsport out here to lay down some rubber. Fiat going up to 1:29.3. He's going up to 4th position. Justin Nasir, P5 at the moment, shuffled down to 6th by the Toyota as Rupner Ryan starts to chase down, gets a lovely slipstream. As all the drivers start to fight now and really start to nail in some laps. Here we have Oswin in the Haas. I think he's just preparing now for another lap. Did not feel right with that last one. He comes across the line. Yeah, no valid time there for him. Couple of drivers coming up through this section of the track here. You're going to see them as Klaus is one of the first ones to get across the line from this little pack here. It goes from 15th to 10th, 1:32.840. Let's go with Nick Edwards. He's actually backed off on this lap, as well as Adam. He's actually now exiting out of pits, so drivers going up for 1-lap sprints there. Have you guys watched the sprint race last night? Of course we did. Sprint race and qualifying including. Those were some very awesome races. Qualifying very close, of course. Can we see McLaren on top again? Well, we shall find out. Although Justin is here is rocking the number 4 Lando Norris car, I still think the power of McLaren is going to be very strong right here at home. As we watch JN now coming across the line. Oh, trouble! Hits the wall! And that is going to be a car that's going to go straight to the pits and get right back out. And that's the last thing you want. That's the AstroTurf. As soon as you get caught on your wheels, it is game over. As Parker now heads into the pits, not happy with this lap. Probably going to get some fresh, soft tires and going to try to go for one once again. Edwards on board. I think our audio levels are just a bit low here on stream, so let's crank it up. Oh, in trouble as well. Nick Edwards, he spins it. The thing with us is that we're letting some drivers head right into the pits. So once they come to a stop on track, they can teleport right into the pits. Makes it a little bit easier for us. And qualified trouble again in the same section. That's 2 Maseratis. Trouble there as they're heading through the exit of Luffield. Difference is Mazutso is not going to come in this time. Baiano for the RB is going to go up to 12th. So that is very interesting. Of course, all drivers, you see them on the soft compounds, except for, I believe that's Danny Nasir setting out that strategy there. C3s are the softest compound, but very interesting to see what's turning out here. Adam now, packed crowd here at Silverstone. A great audience watching at home. Thank you so much for tuning in to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club this evening out. You're going to get yourself a great race. So 2/10 off in the first sector through Brooklands. Now Luffield, don't want to be spinning up the tires on exit. Looks a lot better on that portion of the circuit as he thinks he has Van Dorn. Yeah, it's the Porsche just getting out the way. Just Wanto improving his lap time, as well as the Williams of Stephen Bola. They're also improving greatly. But question is now, who is going to improve in this dying stage of qualifying? Adam is on the bubble. He's 2/10 off in the first sector, but it's personal improvement. However, the second cannot be said. Almost 7/10 down, so that's trouble for him. Nick Edwards has just headed out pit lane. As Dominic Mazutso has actually gone purple in the first sector. We catch him live here. Now he's got Tizwanto just ahead of him. But it's a great first sector he's nailed down. Tizwanto is also on a lap. Does he get out the way for Mazutso? And that is respect there. All the drivers respecting each other. Staying within track limits through cups. And now Mazutso can really open up the Maserati into the lefts and rights. They're in a constructors battle with Red Bull and Ferrari. So crucial they get is nailed down. They actually took the lead of the constructors back at the last round at Albert Park. So now it's all down to continuing and opening that lead in the constructors. Adam is in their way, of course, but can we see an all Maserati front row as Dominic Mazutso heads in the final complex here at Silverstone? Is this going to be the time that puts Mazutso to the top of the timing sheets? He comes across the line now and only goes second position, slots behind his teammate. It's a personal best from Mazutso, but it's nothing to write home about just yet. The middle sector was where it was lacking. Webster goes up to P8, 31.4. He also puts in a personal best. A minute and 10 seconds left to go in this one, so we're really cutting down to it. Adam is not on a flyer. He's still on an outlap, but you see, he's pushing hard. He's really working up the tires now, really warming them up for this final lap here. Drivers who are already coming across the timing sheets now, they are going to be going for one final dance at it. Nick Edwards realizes he may be under pressure. Personal best for Krogsgaard. That's a 31. And he goes up to 8th position. Nick Edwards now is Justin Nasir, also a good lap. P6 though. A lot of personal improvements. The track is really gripping up for this final stage. Nick Edwards improves it on this lap though. 128.6. It didn't look like from the timing sheets it was improving in sector 1 and 2, but he's just made a statement out there. Mazutso into the pits. does not bother on improving, so it's left out the lone Ferrari on a lap here, but 3/10 off in the first sector is not the best way to start this final lap. Nick Edwards on provisional, Maserati front row. Can Adam split Maserati or take pole for himself? There's still a couple other drivers to deal with the deed. 24.5, however, against the fastest first sector time of a 24.1. Adam, soft compounds, fresh tires, might I add, lefts and rights, Maggots and Beckett's onto the hanger straight. Looks decent, opens up the DRS. We're gonna find out sector 2, 39.0 is 6/10 off this one. And I don't think he'll be able to improve this lap time if it means and track limits as well. So, unfortunately, 128.6 completely out the picture. But Adam still gonna push hard anyways, and he's gonna come across this lap and actually improves it and splits Maserati for the start of this one. It's track limits, so after race, we'll have to look at it, and a penalty may come his way for it. But as for the race, Adam has actually split Maserati, so it's Maserati against Ferrari in the front row. Nice, and now, as all drivers are just finishing up their laps, who are we waiting for now? P14, Anderson Baiano, who's a second off of the fastest lap time on track. P13, Zachary in Haas, he's not going to find improvement. Baiano, though, will. He goes up to 12th. P18, Mountain Dew, Andrew Rupner-Ryan, can he improve it? And no, he cannot. So last but not least, it's Tizwanto, which decides he's going to take it to the pits. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to complete this qualifying session. And what a qualifying it was there. We still have a couple of drivers still heading back into the pits, but it is just about done and dusted. Nick Edwards takes pole position here. It's an all-Canadian front row here at Silverstone.